Olivia from EZloads. We got Olivia from EZloads, and she's going to show us the TMS system. And I must say, this is a great system. So let's get into it. And Olivia, it's your show. Olivia? Olivia.
Hello, can you hear me okay? I don't,
Uh,
it just disappeared.
We still here.
Yep.
yes,
Okay.
it's disappeared, but we can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, we can
perfect.
hear you.
All right, there we go.
All right, let me just do my own recording as well. And we'll just get started. Okay, so we're all good. We have everyone on board.
So far.
So far, but when they come in, they come in. I told everybody to be on time, so let's start because I don't want you.
Okay, we
holding-
were recording the meeting, so if
Right.
somebody misses any part of it, we can definitely send them the recording. I'm recording and you're recording, so it should be all covering all bases.
Perfect. Let's
So just wanted to do a little introduction. My name is Olivia Katz, and I'm with EZloads TMS and Driver app. I am in charge of marketing and business strategy, and most of my time I'm talking to users to gather their feedback during demos, product demos, as well as I'm streamlining the process of marketing to make sure that we are addressing the needs of all the users of the system that is designed to be for carriers. We also have a lot of dispatch service companies that are using all the features that are meeting their business needs as far as dispatchers, accountants.
Olivia, we can't hear you.
So there are a lot of users to the system. In general, EZloads TMS, it comes with a driver app to facilitate dispatching needs. And it's perfect for all of the users. It's supposed to be an all-in-one system for carriers to address all of their needs, accounting needs, dispatch needs, safety managers needs. As far as dispatchers, so I understand you're studying to be a dispatcher, correct?
Yes, everybody here is going to be dispatching.
Dispatching. So I'm just going to focus on this part during our presentation. So for dispatchers, why they really love using the EZloads TMS and the driver app, because first of all, it's a web-based application. So you can use it from any computer, Windows, Mac, pretty much anywhere in the world. You can work remote. You're not tied to a single computer that has a license. There is no such thing in a web-based platform as one license or two licenses. All information is stored in the server, and you are free to work from anywhere, and you're not restricted in any way. The second thing is, I will definitely show you during the demo, the dispatch board. There's a way to navigate the color-coded dispatch dashboard with real-time driver schedules and load sequences. You also have integrated load boards from where you can look, search for a load, book the load, and have that load recorded right into the TMS so other users of the business can go ahead and do invoicing, process driver payroll, factoring reports, and so on. So it's all in one place. You can also connect the driver app to facilitate dispatching, and I will be able to show you a short video how the system syncs with the driver app. So the app is for drivers who are on the road, but you can definitely control and get in touch with them through the TMS and dispatch all the necessary information to them if they are utilizing the app. So let me just go straight into the demo. As you can see, this is the interface of the EZloads. This is a trial account that I can present to you. On the left-hand side, you have a simple to use menu, just like it says EZloads. It's pretty simple and easy to navigate. The menus on the left, that's mostly what you need to click on. And the dispatch dispatch side starts with a load board. So currently you can access Uber Freight load board. We are planning to add DAT load board, which will follow the similar logic, where you can book the load, you can search and book the load, and will reappear on a load list and a dispatch board. So I'm just going to read to you how you go about looking and searching for the load. So let's just pretend that we're looking for a load to pick up in Chicago, Illinois. I already input the dates, so let it be today for the pickup date, and drop off or delivery date would be a few days from now, and our delivery city would be Jersey City. You can just put the zip code and the city and state will be populated. Then you can select your equipment type, whatever is appropriate for you. And then if you need more filters, you can specify the rate that you're looking for, the distance, rate per mile, even the weight. Now the pickup, you can also choose different radius. It's 50 miles. You can increase or decrease it to whatever you find suitable for your search. And then once you're ready to search, you just click on Find Loads, and the system will be able to provide you loads that meet your criteria. See, we have a lot of filters here, so we were only able to find one load that meets our criteria. And in order to view and book the load, we can just click on View and Book. We'll get a lot of details about the load. If you're confirming and you're happy with the booking, you can just click on Book the Load. Yes, I'm sure. And this load will be automatically added to the load list and to the dispatch board. And I'm going to show you how. So this is the load, how it will appear in your load list. And you already see all the details from the Uber Freight load board. It just fetched through into this load. So you could see the dispatcher information. You could see that this is the new load, the total trip miles, empty loaded miles, and rate per mile is populated. You have the rate, you have the PO number, you have the broker. Since we use the Uber Freight load board, the broker will be Uber Freight. And you can also add the driver. You can even add the co-driver. The system will populate the truck and trailer number that is assigned to the driver. You can also choose the equipment owner if it's appropriate. And once we've selected the driver, the system also calculates the driver payable based on the previous settings we set up for the driver. We see this driver has this little icon here, square. What this means the driver has actually activated the driver app, so we can dispatch this load to this driver via the driver app. And to dispatch, the only manual thing you have to do is just change the status of the load from new to dispatch and checkbox. So this action alone will push the entire information about this load to the driver's app. And on the driver's app, they will get a notification saying there's a new load for them. I'm going to be able to demonstrate it to you in a video. There's an alternative way to dispatch. This is the most efficient way if your driver is using the driver app, but there is an alternative way to just click on the email and they'll get the details about each pickup stop. And you can even attach a file, a rate con, or whatever is necessary, and just send it to the driver's email this way. But it's much more user-friendly to look over this information on the driver's app. Let me show you where this load will appear on load list. So on a load list, you have the list view of all the loads that you have booked, be it with Uber Freight or any other broker. If the load is new, you will see it in a new status here. And I think the one we just dispatched, it was this one, the load 10464. So you can see the status of it changed to dispatched. Let me show you this load. This load is actually en route to its delivery stop. So once your driver is going through the stops on the driver app, they will be able to complete each stop, and you will be seeing the date stamp when each stop was completed. So as you can see from this load view, this driver just completed the second stop, is currently en route to the final destination in Miami, Florida. So from here on, the only thing you have to do manually is to change the status from new to dispatched. After that, the status will change on its own because your driver is updating this information as they are completing the trip. And once they complete the last stop, which is a delivery, the status of the load will automatically change to delivered. Once the load is delivered, it will actually change its color in a load list to orange or yellow. And that would be a notification to an accountant to start working on this load to properly invoice or maybe prepare a factoring report. So mainly, if the load has a white background on the load list, it means the dispatcher would still have to work this load. So it's either in new or dispatched or en route status. So anything before delivered, it'll have this white background. So most likely the dispatcher will have to follow up on this load. Now, I really love the dispatch board because it gives you a much better visual and a calendar view. So the information on the load list is the same as it is on a dispatch board. The difference is just the format. In a load list, you have it in a list view, and in a dispatch board, you have it in a calendar view. You can decide how many days you want to view on your calendar at 1, 7 through 14. I just have it at 10 days. You see a driver's list on the left-hand side, and the ones that have an icon, easy icon in a green square means they activated the app, so you can definitely dispatch to the driver's app. If for some reason the icon is grayed out, that means maybe you need to resend the invite, give them some more instructions that they have to download the app from the Play Store or from the Apple Store. What we see on this dispatch board, it has a calendar view and has loads by statuses. So you can click on these buttons to view or uncheck specific loads. You got the new loads in white, you have delivered loads in yellow, and you have the ones that are in progress or en route in blue. You also can indicate on this calendar if there's a driver who's on vacation, you can mark it so no dispatcher will book this driver for that day. You also have notes on the right-hand side, and you can add a lumper if necessary. And just get detailed notes. As far as the phone number, it's going to be right listed under each driver's profile, so you'll be able to even get a little statistic here. I don't have statistic for this period, but normally in a real account, you will have some short analytic message here as far as total revenue, rate per mile, loaded miles, empty miles for each driver for the week, months, and year. So it gives you some idea what they did. You do have a lot of filters here up top, so you can search by the date, you can search by the driver's name. You can also filter tomorrow's trucks, today's trucks, ready now trucks, unassigned loads, and you can create your filters. So each dispatcher may have, its own list of drivers they're working with, so that's the list they want to primarily focus on. You can create your filters as well. Do you have any questions so far about the dispatch board and the load list and the load board?
Yes, Olivia, I have a question.
Go ahead.
With the when you clicked on there and showed the driver's rate for the week and everything, their revenue for the week. Now, would that be for each individual driver, whether they're a company driver or are they a over-the-road driver or owner operator? It would show both?
Yes, it will show both.
Okay.
So whenever you create your driver's profile, you can indicate what type of driver it is. So in the settings and pay rates, actually, you can specify if it's a company driver and their pay per mile, freight percentage, flat pay or hourly, or if it's an owner app. You can specify that, but the statistic will show for either an owner operator or the company driver. It would still be there.
Okay. when it's the over the road, when it's the owner operator, are we able to send that paperwork to that particular driver so they can have a printout of it themselves?
Sure, sure. When you dispatch, you can attach a document. You're talking about the rate con?
No, not the Raycon, the revenue for the whole week for 'em.
Oh, yes, you definitely can do that. First of all, you're doing that when you're preparing the driver payroll, so they'll be able to see the rate
But
and.
they're owner operator, we're not doing the paperwork for them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So
you're doing a payroll, you're doing this for a company driver.
you
But-
do it for anybody. You could do it for anybody. There's
Oh,
an
okay.
example how. So there's an example how you would do it for a company driver, but you can also do it for the owner operator. Let me see if I can show you that. So if it's a company driver, they will not see the rate. Let me see if I
Right.
have a statement to show you. So this is a company driver statement, and they're just gonna see some information, but not all information. They're just gonna see miles, right? They're gonna see empty miles, loaded miles, and what they're getting paid based in cents per mile. And then possible deductions if you are withholding anything from their pay. However, if this is an owner operator, their statement will look different. Let me see if I have one to show you. I think this one. This is owner operator, Brett Wiley. So he's got a lot of things we haven't added to his statement. But this is an owner operator example, and this can be customized, but in this sense, they can see the rate. The company driver,
Don't see the rate.
they usually bundle their rate. So they're paid and then they see what they're getting paid. And then
Okay.
also if you withholding fuel, they'll be able to see all the fuel transactions that are withheld for those two loads, as well as any other scheduled deductions you schedule every pay period.
Okay. All right. And I was looking at the Moto ELD,
Mhm.
and we would just have our drivers set up for that, and then they could be able to integrate that with this.
So you'll be able to integrate ELD if it's Samsara or if it is
With Moto.
Motive, right? So we are currently integrated with Motive and Samsara, and you'll just be able to connect
Okay.
them. And then this will give you a real-time location of the driver. You can share this information with the broker, so there is no
Mhm.
back and forth, and you can see their
Yes, I can get some sleep. Okay.
live tracking of where it is, where they are on the road, on the map. So that's essentially why it's for. As far as using the driver app, that's a really beneficial tool for drivers, because when they're on the road, first of all, dispatchers, they just need to click on dispatched, and then the rest of it is just going to go to the driver's app. Once the driver is finished with the last stop, they will be able to use the app scanner to scan the POD or the BOL, and you will get this document right here in Docs Exchange. So when you have a new document, you'll have like a number of new documents in parentheses. I don't have any new ones right now, but if you had one or two or three, you'll see it right here. And instead of accepted or rejected, the status will be new. So I do not have a new document right now, but let's pretend if we want to click on actions right now, let's pretend if this was new. And then I would just either reject it if I don't like the quality, or, some people cut corners, you can see all the file in entirety. So you can provide the reason to the driver, like, hey, please rescan this does not complete. And the driver will get a notification on their phone to rescan the document. And if you are happy with the quality, you can click on the document itself. I don't know if I have a legitimate document here. It doesn't look like a POD, but in your case, it will be a real document. If you're happy with the quality, you just double check that this is going to go to the load that you want. Normally that will be the same load that the driver just completed. This is the BOL, the document type. Sometimes the driver can leave some comments. In this case, we don't have any. So if you're happy with the quality, you just accept it. And it's going to be associated with the load 10351. And you can even review it right here, 10351. So we're going to jump straight into the load. We go under documents. And here we see this BOL right now, right? From today, actually
And this
today.
is where we can merge the documents together, right?
Yes, that's the document right here. Hold on one second. That's the document. And for factoring purposes, that's what you normally do. Well, you would
Mhm.
have one BOL, one rate con, and once you actually do the invoice, right? When you do the invoice, which you could just do by clicking one button, unless the system will tell you, hey, it has to be delivered in delivered status before you can actually invoice. I think I
And
already
all the
added the-
BOLs, I'm sorry, but all the BOLs will be in PDF form already.
Exactly. There will be, I have way
Mm.
too many here. Let me just delete a few. But essentially, you're gonna have one POD, one rate con, you have one invoice, whatever any other document that you have there. You can just click on merge documents. And then you're gonna have merge document file. So you don't have to export them to Adobe and try to merge them manually.
That's what I was telling you before, that I gotta do all these steps to get it to POD. Okay.
Right. You just click on merge documents and you're gonna see in the notes section exactly what has been merged. So in our case, it's confirmation, it's RateCon, and it's BOL. You can review it. It's gonna be just coming up as one file, right?
Yep. Perfect.
And essentially, that's what the factoring company wants to see. So when you're submitting a factoring report, which is pretty easy with EZloads, and then that's one of the steps to do to make sure that you're submitting your documents to the factoring company how they want. And we do have integration with a few factoring companies, so it's pretty smooth. It's just one click. And even if it don't have an integration with the factoring company, it's not going to be too much more complex. It's just going to be 2 clicks instead of 1. So you can still do it, and it will still prepare the factoring report for you and change the status of the load to submit it to factoring or fund it automatically. But it's just 1 click versus 2 clicks. As far as the driver app, if you guys want to see the driver app,
Yes.
how it
Yes.
syncs with the TMS, we can watch this video. I don't think the sound will transmit, but I can comment as we are watching this video. Are you able to see it right now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna play it and I will comment what's going on. So you could see the step 1 is to invite your driver to use the driver app. So you can do it from the driver's tab, driver's profile. You have actions button on the right hand side, and you click on actions, and there will be a drop down invite the driver to the driver app. And you want to make sure there's a phone number there, because they're going to receive the notification to their phone number with a link to download the app and the activation code. You can actually have different carrier. You can dispatch for different carriers, and in one app you can have you can receive loads as a driver from different carriers in the same app. So dispatchers can dispatch from different TMS accounts to the same driver, essentially. So once you send out the invite, they will receive a notification on their smartphone. They downloaded the app, they activated, they accepted the code, they accepted the invite, they entered the code. And pretty much their app is ready to go. So the next thing is for the dispatcher to go inside of the load, click on the load itself. And like I mentioned previously, you just want to verify that your driver has installed the app. If it looks like this icon in a green square, that means the app is active and you can be confident that you can dispatch through the driver app instead of sending it by an email message or a message. So the only manual thing you have to do to get this to the driver is to change the status from new to dispatch checkbox. And that's it. The rest of the statuses will be automatically updated as the driver is moving through the trip. So now that you're dispatched, the driver will get a new load notification on their smartphone. And once they're ready to start the trip, they'll just press go. And on your TMS, you'll get a status update that the driver is en route. You'll see it right here in a second. So you see the status has changed for this load, and you can see that it's en route, and you can see the stop to where they're going. So they just left Chicago, they're going to Miami. If you integrate ELD, you can click on the map and you'll see a real-time location where they are as they're moving, like exactly where they are in between Chicago and Miami.
Okay, Olivia, where would they put the address and everything at? So all I'm saying is en route Miami to Chicago. So where would the driver know where he's going? What button he need to push for that?
They will be able to see it by clicking on the stop. See right here? That's the entire address, and that's what they will be able to see in the driver app.
Oh, okay. So they just had to push the
Yeah, they just
actual,
have to click on the stop and they'll get more details.
okay.
But just like you can see right here, you see, this one is first come, first serve. It's no appointment. You can see the day, you can see the company name, you can see the street, the city, everything, and you know, the phone number if it's gonna be there.
Right. Now, another question. What if you have a driver, a person that owned the truck, but they're not the driver, and they have a driver? So how we would just send that driver the phone number for the app instead of the owner of the company? Or are we able to put two numbers in there?
Right, so you will send it to the driver because
Okay.
the person who's on the road will have to be dispatched, right?
Okay.
But when you calculate the statement, settlement, right? The settlement, then you will just specify in the system that the other person is the owner op, and the owner op statement will have deduction for the driver's pay. So you'll
Okay.
have to prepare two settlements,
Okay.
but you will dispatch to whoever's gonna be behind the wheel.
Okay. Perfect. Gotcha.
Right. So once the trip is completed, then the system will prompt the driver to scan and submit the BOL, just like this. There's going to be a message so they don't miss it. And this is exactly how they use their phone camera to take a picture and will automatically switch it to the PDF format. You just want to make sure if you're having iPhone that your camera settings are on. Right, so you pretty much you won't be able to finish the trip unless you you indicate, you know, that you're going to be scanning the BOL. So it just prevents that case that you forget to scan it. So once you scan all pages of the BOL, you'll be able to submit it. And the submission process is really quick. So you can submit it or you can save it. You can assign it to the load. There are instances where maybe there is an accident, you know, the truck was in an accident, so you will just take a picture of the truck, and instead of submitting a BOL for that trip, you will just submit a picture, but it will be assigned to that load number, so everything is in one place. So the driver can submit it, and the system will give you a success message that has been successfully submitted. And then in your TMS, first of all, you'll get the delivered status update for the load. And then in a documents exchange, see right now, you can see there's 3 new documents. And just like I previously showed you, you can go and review the document, the BOL. If you're satisfied with the quality, you can accept it, and it will be attached to the load all in one place where the rest of your documents for the load are. So that's in a nutshell how the driver app is synced with the TMS. They work together. I mean, the driver app can be a standalone product. I only use it for scanning documents and emailing it to myself, but essentially the main goal for it is to be synced with the TMS account, and one driver app can be synced with more than one TMS account.
Now, are we able to merge all like you had 3 BOLs, we would be able to merge all 3 BOLs together and just have the
Sure.
rate con and the BOL separately.
Yes, you can merge BOLs together through the merging function right here, where you could, right, I don't have another document here, but yes, you can merge the documents that you have saved. So for example, if you have only 2 documents here, let me see the load. This is already connected with Motive. Let me see if I have another, I can show you where it has more than 1 document. Let's see if this was delivered. So now we can invoice. So the invoice is created right here. And we already see it belongs to effect from report 1177, but
Mhm.
invoice is also generated right here. So whatever documents you have saved here, once you click merge, it will merge. But the next document that you would have here will not be merged automatically. So you have to again click merge if you're interested in merging them all. So this option will give you an opportunity to merge some documents, but not all. So let's say if you have a POD scanned after that, it'll be just saying POD underneath it. But if you want to merge them all, then you click merge again, it will merge all 3. Does it make sense?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Now,
Awesome. Track the entire history, what happened to the load, and if you have multiple users accessing the TMS or multiple dispatchers, you can always see the author of the last addition or correction or change and exactly the date stamp and what has happened to the load.
now, what if you want to have your dispatchers only to do what they working on? I don't want them to see nobody else stuff. I just want them to see what they're working on. Is that possible?
Sure. So you want to limit restriction to certain users. When you're inviting a user to your TMS, you will be able to specify what access rights you're giving them. So you'll just type their email, and if it's a dispatcher, you just select the dispatcher box, and they will only be able to see or edit what dispatcher is supposed to see. So load board, dispatch board, loads, they'll have access to drivers, but they won't be able to delete entries. And they will not have access to certain things like accounting or reports or driver payroll. I can definitely share the file with you that would describe access roles for all the user roles. And like I said, you just make sure that you assign them a dispatcher role, and this will take care of it.
Okay. Everybody else got questions? This is the time to ask them.
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
All right. So one of my questions was answered. So I could use this app from my iPhone.
Exactly. You can download it on your iPhone. You can download it from the App Store if you just type EZloads app, or here, when you have a list of drivers, all you had to do is see the driver app. Column right here, it just indicates who already installed and who installed but maybe didn't activate. And usually if there is no icon at all, that means maybe there's a missing phone number. So you have to add the phone number first for that applicant. Maybe somebody just started working, but essentially you just say, send an invite, and you'll get this message, send app invite. And once you click send, this person will receive the link to download the app to their phone and the activation code.
Okay. And does the app have the full functionality of a desktop?
The app, I think it's just the app on the mobile app. It's made to be like a mobile application that drivers will get notification. I don't really know if you can access it as on a desktop. I
Okay.
think the whole point of it was so the drivers who are on the road, they can just get notification quickly on their phone as far as the trip detail, where they had to go, and use like a phone camera to scan BOLs. Because the desktop version, that's more like for a TMS itself, where you can do, you know, a full suite of dispatch and accounting and safety, maintenance, and so on.
And then as far as the multiple users go, one person is the admin, and then you add someone below that person. So the person that you add on there, that essentially becomes their own load board. So I could look at a load board, I could dispatch my own trucks, I could do everything as I would have to do. Kind of like an admin, but not really an admin.
Right, you'll be having access to all of your drivers, all of your loads. So even if you have dispatch rides, you absolutely have full access to load boards and dispatch board and loads. But you may not have access to like accounting or reporting, because it probably wouldn't be even something you'll be interested in. But I've seen some smaller carrier companies where they give admin rights to dispatchers and whoever else, if it's a small fleet company.
Okay. And contracts between dispatchers and drivers, is there anything on this TMS for that?
So an agreement that you would have between dispatchers and drivers, I mean, it's something that probably is different from business to business. So we don't have like a template for the agreement, because agreement may differ in its terms and conditions. So you would have to have it sorted and sold between, you know, dispatch service company and driver. It won't be necessarily something that you would need to be generated by the system, but you could save it under, you know, driver's profile. You could save some information. Let's say if there's an agreement you want to save, you can go under other, and you can add and upload the agreement and just specify this is the agreement between the dispatcher and the driver. But the system itself does not generate documents.
Okay.
Or
So if I upload this, does it become like something that the end user could sign and send back to me as an agreed document?
so for that, you probably need like Adobe signatures or DocuSign signatures. We are not the eSign platform. That will be through the eSign platform. You can store documents here, but the EZloads is like a solution for carriers to manage fleet, do dispatch, but not generate documents. It's mostly like some HR platforms or some other platforms that would generate documents for you. Here you can store application, drug tests, have reminders. System will give you reminders when document expires, but the generation of the document itself is something that is not what TMS usually does.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Olivia,
Excellent
Denise have a
question.
question. Denise has a question.
What was that?
I say Denise has a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Hi, Olivia. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Okay, great. Kevin asked the questions that I have on my paper, but you just said something about you don't have, this platform is not built for agreements, but you said something about you have a place where they can be stored. Where would that platform be again? Where you can store that document?
Okay.
Besides
So,
the besides
so
the
here's-
besides the carrier platform, there was another place you said we can store it. The agreement.
here you can store it, but there is another platform that will generate these documents. There are probably a few. I don't know, I don't remember the names of them on the top of my head, but I know that brokers typically they have a different software because they are the ones who generating like documents like rate cons, different sort of agreements. Here in the TMS, you can store documents because your safety manager of a carrier typically would have to do a cross check for all the documents when you're just hiring a new applicant, a new driver, owner operator. So there you have to store their application. You have to store there like a copy of a CDL. So you can store all the documents in here under your driver's profile and driver qualification documents. But the document itself, such as like application that you send them out for a signature, it wouldn't be done through the TMS. You would have to have another platform like DocuSign platform where you will just create the document, the agreement, and you will specify the terms of the employment agreement. And I think it's through DocuSign or Adobe Signatures. Maybe there is a platform that does it. I know some brokerage firms, they use the platform that generates documents for their needs, such as rate cons. But TMSs, we don't generate documents. We're not in the business to generate or for e-signature documents, but DocuSign is.
Not so much generate, is here on your platform, do you have a area where we can download the agreement? Is there somewhere up here that we can download the agreement on, like the dispatcher or the admin platform area? No?
Once you upload the agreement, you can then download the agreement, but your safety manager, that's the person who's responsible to upload all the documents for the drivers. And if there's agreement between the driver and a dispatcher, it'll be uploaded most likely under the driver's qualifications. So first you need to upload it and then you can access it through here. But as far as downloading like a sample application or agreement, you wouldn't be able to do it unless you previously uploaded it here.
Okay. And if we was to so if we was to upload it from another platform, we will come directly here and download it here through application PDF.
Exactly. This is
Okay.
for okay. Yeah, this is so you will just prepare the agreement, like there's an agreement template in DocuSign or Adobe, and you'll just send it out to the person's email, and then they will sign the agreement, and then you go here in the platform and you will just store the agreement here. And if the agreement typically doesn't have the expiration date, but if it doesn't have some service terms, then you can specify the application date or the expiration date, and the system will give you a warning like this red warning when it's expired or when it's about to expire.
Oh, so they don't really keep it on there for the duration.
Right. So it applies for, like, let's say CDL, right? If CDL expires on a certain day and you don't want to miss that expiration date, the system will give you the first warning 30 days out when it's 30 days or less before it expires. So you know to remind your driver that, hey, you need to renew it. Same thing for any other agreement application. You can set up the dates and get the reminder when it's about to.
Okay, I have another question here. Do you have a calculator up here built in this system?
I don't think there is a calculator. I think the logic here, it calculates it on its own. What would
profit calculator.
Oh, yes. The profit reports, that's what you're talking about. There are multiple reports, and then there's pretty robust accounting.
So you need to go Google and find.
So you can review like revenue by dispatcher, you can review profit and loss, gross profit per load. You can have a lot of different reports, and logic is already built in. Let me see if I can show you the report.
No, I mean the calculator where you want to when you're talking to a broker or talking to a carrier, and you want to calculate the mileage and the rate to get the mileage and the amount to calculate the rate per mile. Do you have a calculator like that?
It's automatically calculated. See, like once you actually review and book the load, the rate per mile will be automatically here. Let me show you. So first of all, it's gonna be based on your previous driver's position, and then the system will calculate the empty miles and loaded miles, and then the rate per mile will be automatically calculated based on the rate. So the only thing you had to feed the information, you had to put the rate, and then the system will calculate it on its own.
Okay, got you.
You don't
Okay,
need a calculator, it's just kind of automatic.
okay,
Same thing for the driver's pay will be automatic, and if it's, let's say if a dispatcher works for a fee, the dispatcher's pay will also be automatic, and you can preview in payables. So in the billing section, you can see the invoice. You could see driver's payable already based on the rates that you previously set up under the driver's profile. We could see the extra stop, we could see the miles. And then if there is a dispatcher who works for a certain fee, their pay will be also calculated here. And in the driver payroll, you can prepare settlements for drivers or dispatchers or owner operators.
okay, got it right here. Okay, and my last question is the dispatcher and admin part. You was talking about that with Keith. Now, can we be both dispatcher and admin?
Well, if you're an admin, you have access to absolutely everything. So if you're an admin, then yes, you can be both. But if you're a dispatcher, then you're not going to be an admin, because admin has access rights to absolutely everything, and dispatcher has access rights to certain things. I can email you a file, or I can share it with you here in chat that describes all the access rights for each role. But if you're an admin, then you would have access to everything the dispatcher has access to.
All right, and then we're communicating with brokers. We only need one email, just one email or two emails.
Right, when you're communicating with broker, well, let's say if you want to send them an invoice, that's pretty easy. This is how it's going to be. So you go to billing and you just send email, and everything is automatically attached. Rate con, invoice, the merged file if you need it. If you don't need it, you can just X out of it. The email for the broker is populated. All you had to do is just to check if this is the attachment that you want, and just click send. So ideally, you'll just send them what? An invoice, maybe rate con, maybe BOL too. Just click send, and that's how it's going to be. And then you want to make sure that they receive this email. You go to reports, emails, and you could see the track of all emails, if you sent it, when, and if they read it.
Okay, all right, got you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anyone else has any questions?
I do. And so your system is robust, right? I mean, like if there's 20 to 30 of us using it at the same time, there's no lag in real time for taking care of our transactions.
There is no lag. I mean, you can imagine we have this API, right, with Uber Freight. So there are a lot of people who are just, looking and booking an Uber Freight load board at the same time. So the system is pretty stable in order for, for all of the users to perform actions at the same time. And it's not just specific to one account. I mean, there are multiple thousands of users who are performing actions, like even within the same account, you can have, like, we have carriers who have like 20 users, and each of them accessing the same platform at the same time, and it shouldn't create any lagging whatsoever, because as I'm doing this demo, this is the real account. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of other people are doing something on other accounts, but even if the same user is doing something on this account, it'll just take note here in the load history what was going on, but it wouldn't really like lock you out or log you out. It'll just be able to do it in real time, and multiple users can access from different computers in the same time.
So when we send agreements or any communication to carriers, it's branded as EZloads, but can it be branded as whoever or the dispatcher is? So let's say I'm XYZ Logistics. Does it say that when I send an agreement to someone or I send communication to someone?
So by default, it's gonna say EZload logo on the bottom. So let me show you real quick. So if you're looking at, let's say, the invoice, right, or the Factorum report. So well, first of all, this is gonna be your company logo. It's just because it's a demo account, so you can see EZload. So this is gonna be your company logo. This is gonna be your company information.
Mhm.
But I don't even see EZloads over here. This is just an example. It would be your logo. You will just be able to insert your logo when you set up your account. So you go to my company, and this is where you can insert your logo. So it's going to be yours. But if there is any other statement or like a driver settlement, and there is a mention of EZloads and you absolutely don't want it there, you can request it during the onboarding process to have it customized. And it
Gotcha.
can-
Thank you.
Mhm. Yay, great questions. Anyone else has any questions?
Denise
I have-
got another
I
question.
have another question. Okay, back to the dispatcher and admin. Can there be two separate sign-ins? Like if I have a dispatcher, would they require a separate sign-in from an admin sign-in?
Right, because when you request, so when you invite a person, you will just type their email. So if they have different emails, they would have different sign-ins. So they will just sign up under a different email password. I mean,
Okay.
I've heard some people sharing that information to just, have like a couple dispatchers under the same. But for analytics purposes, it's better to have them separated, because then when you run statistics and reports, you can see better, like revenue by dispatcher, you can see what each person is doing. But you can do either or. You can either share login or you can create separate logins for all these users.
And how many users can be on this one platform?
They're gonna be unlimited users. You see how many I have already, and it can be way more than this. I mean, it doesn't really have a limit. It just depends on how many you need. I mean, most of the smaller fleet, they start with 1 or 2 users, 1 admin, and maybe one for dispatching needs, or could be like more than that. And then you can grow to 5, 7, 10. We have some larger fleet who have like probably 30 users, depending how many employees they have working.
Right.
So it doesn't really have a restriction to how many users.
Okay, thank you.
You're very
Olivia,
welcome.
so what's the time frame for it to be integrated with DAT?
We're supposed to have a roadmap meeting in the next 2 weeks. I won't be able to, I don't want to mislead you and give you some time frame if I'm not so sure. I know this would be the next thing, is just to integrate with DAT. But even if we're not integrated with DAT, you could still create a load, and it's pretty easy to create
Right.
one. You just literally, you go to dispatch board and you just go over the dates. You put 2 zip codes, and we can import your shippers and receivers, so that this information can also be generated. You put 2 zip codes and you're just done, and then if you need addresses, then you go in a stop, and when we import your shippers and receivers, all you had to do is just select from the drop down the company name. So even before we integrate with that, the process is still, it's not that time consuming. It's still going to save a lot of time rather than, manually entering all of it. And as you can see, just me entering this manually, the information about the trip, the empty miles, I guess I didn't pick the right pickup stop. It's not very close to the driver's position, but ideally you would do the right thing, and the system will calculate your trip, loaded miles, rate per mile automatically. Well, actually need to insert the rate. I would just insert the rate, and the broker, there's a library of 64,000 of them. So you can just select one and boom, and done. And that's essentially all you had to do. And the driver's already here, the truck and trailer here. Not sure, maybe we didn't set up the pay for this driver, so let me change this driver to someone else. Because I don't think I set up the pay for this driver, so once I change the driver, you see the driver's payable is also updated. So it takes a couple more clicks versus if it was the same way as with Uber Freight, but it's still not as bad. It's not as just having, Google Sheets and trying to manually enter it, which would allow a certain degree of error, and just navigating through the spreadsheet is not the best thing. This just keeps it all organized all in one place, and with documents, with services, like you can book a lumper, detention here, fuel surcharge, you can easily access all documents, you can create an invoice with just one click, you can see the driver's payable, dispatcher's payable based on prior settings. So it is still not too time consuming. We did get a lot of requests from carriers to add DAT. Is just in the beginning of our integration with Uber Freight. We were under impression of exclusivity, but they disclosed to us that we are no longer exclusive with them. So we started on adding another load board, but it's still in progress. Once I have that meeting, I'll be able to give you a better timeline of when it's
Okay.
complete.
And the same thing
So-
with OTR.
Huh?
I say that would be the same thing with OTR, the factoring company. But then we was talking about that one too.
You're talking about the factoring company?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the next week is gonna be launch of Apex factoring company, and then after that, it's Core Fund, and I believe then it's gonna be OTR,
Oh, okay.
one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah,
So as far as the live load board functionality, DAT Premium gives you like a 15-minute head start on loads. Is your load board is real time? Does it give you like a head start so you could like have your pickup loads?
so if you have to pay some membership fees or whatever fees to DIT, it's gotta be the same. This will just be integrated with the EZload. So
Okay.
whatever you book right here, it's just like with Uber Freight. The integration, it gives you an ability, instead of you going between two different tabs and booking the load on one website and transferring it to EZloads to your TMS, it'll just be all in one. It's integrated. So you can look for it right here, and once you book it, it shows up on your dispatch board, it shows up on your load list. That's the whole point of integrated load board. But if there are some
Gotcha.
fees associated with Uber Freight or that, it'll still be something that they charge you, not us. EZloads is a platform, and we're just trying to develop the more integrations, partnerships to make it all in one place. So you don't have to go to multiple places, to avoid double entry and just save time and be more efficient. That's the whole purpose.
Okay. And what's the family and friends discount?
What was that?
Family and friends discount price.
You said the family and discount and the family and friends discount?
Yeah, I'm messing with you, but
So there are some discounts on certain plans. It'll just be probably better that each individual will request the free trial. And when you're entering information during the free trial, inside of your platform, you'll be able to see the plan that is right for you. And then we do offer some significant discounts, and you'll be able to see them right there. There's like 30% discount if you go with the annual, or is it 30% discount on the top of another 30% discount if you have multiple companies you work for. So if you work for like two of them sister companies, then you can get extra discounts.
so
It's
there's
also-
a group discount.
It's not exactly called a group discount, it's called a sister company or multiple company discount. And so you're if you're adding like the second or the third portal, and it's a sister company, or you work for the same company, then it could be applied. It is on a case-by-case basis, so the annual discount is for everyone, but the multiple company discount, will just have to verify a couple of things. And then once we verify, then we can apply another 30%
How much is the
discount.
annual discount? How much is it to pay for the whole year?
It just depends. It will be different for the number of users.
So what if you want the unlimited users, the one that's 199?
Right, so it'll be like 199 and you get 30% off that, so it'll be 139 per month, but you have to do the annual commitment. And that's unlimited, that doesn't limit you in any ways, and I
Ooh, that's
honestly don't know
that's $1,600.
for the whole year. Right, but that's when you go unlimited, when you have so many users that your
Ooh.
company is growing.
I'm sorry, I just had a mouse stroke there. Ooh, 1,600 for the whole year? Wow. Come on, Olivia, we can't do a little bit better. Come on, come on, come on.
That's
Family and
just-
friends, family and
that's-
friends discount.
Come on, we like family.
That's
Come
essentially
on,
the
come
30%, that's the 30%. I really
lunch
don't
on
know
me.
any
Come
other
on, come on.
TMS that offers you unlimited users. Most of them, they charge you per user. There's no unlimited plans. So I think that's really is the best deal, especially if you're getting the annual, but
Now,
lot of-
Olivia, I got a question. What about the driver's app? Is there a limit to how many people, how many drivers you can have on that app?
that's the thing. There is no limit. I don't know
Oh,
any
okay.
software. I don't know any software
Okay.
that first of all gives you something unlimited. Usually it doesn't even exist. They charge you per user license or per user, and there's no such thing as unlimited. It's just maybe a discount if you go over 10, but nobody gives you unlimited of anything. I've never encountered that. And then the driver app, it comes unlimited too. So it's just one
Oh,
flat
okay.
fee. There is no hidden fees. You just have a peace of mind because you know what your price is, and you're locked into this price for pretty much forever. We never raise price on
Well,
any
can you
user.
please say that again? Can you please say that again? You're locked
Right.
in for this price for
You're
what?
locked
Forever,
into
right?
this price pretty much forever because we
Okay.
never raise the price. If there is a price change, it will only affect whoever comes on board, after the price is changed. But if your price was whatever it was, $99 or $139, even if it was for the annual, it'll just renew for the same amount again and again and again, unless you cancel. And it's not subject to change for that person who's staying a customer.
So even if there's additional features added, or there's like a EZloads 5.0 or 6.0, price stays the same.
Exactly. It's just something that a lot of users really like about the EZloads is transparency about price and price guarantee, because that it's hard to switch from one system to another. We understand that, and it's a really unpleasant thing that a year down the road you realize there's a 30% price increase, and now you have to think about, what am I going to do? How am I going to switch? This is the process. When you have a team that's pretty large in size, it's not an easy process to do.
Exactly.
And because of this price and no price change guarantee, there's a lot of users that switch to us from other TMSs whose pricing policy wasn't as transparent, and it was never fixed. It was like a variable price. You never knew, business is good 1 month, but it may not be that hot another month. But if you have a fixed price, it's much more easier to kind of figure out your budget. So with the price that's flat and you have unlimited, first of all, it's not limiting your growth. Second of all, it's giving you a peace of mind. Whatever happens if you grow, that price is fixed, is not variable.
And so is there any talk with your team about like integrating AI into your system at any point
AI?
to make things
I think AI
easier?
is going to be integrated everywhere sometime soon, but I don't know when. I don't know when. For right now, there's like a roadmap of some really cool features for every quarter that I'm being worked on. Have not heard about AI, but I would imagine it will penetrate all sorts of businesses very soon. For right now, if you guys are interested in testing out EZloads, you can just literally go to EZloads.net, and right on the first page, you can click on this red button, create free trial. It's absolutely free for 15 days, and you get support during the trial experience. I'll show you where. So once you create your trial, you will be able to click on live support, and then there's a guidance how to set up your TMS. So it works properly. If you go in the sequence, you'll be most efficient and successful. But then there's
Ooh.
also a number to
Ooh, can you
customer
show us
support.
the IFTA reports? How to create the IFTA reports?
Sure, IFTA report is real quick, so you can just click on IFTA, you select the period for which you want to create it. I don't know if I have any data for the recent periods, but let me see if I can pull something for 2022. You have a list of your drivers.
So
And
you can pick
then,
each one of these drivers individually too, right?
yes, you can pick them individually. I think by default, it says all drivers are selected by default. Maybe I unselected someone who's inactive. But you can change the selection or add custom data if necessary. And you can
Oh,
show
wow. So this is another
photos,
$600 I can make.
and you could just run the report like this, and it will be exportable to PDF Excel, or you can just email it to whoever. And it's gonna be your report with the totals. And then if you want the tax to be withheld from owner operator settlements, by default, owner operators are selected, and you can just generate statement entries when you're preparing the payroll for them. You will see the fuel tax as a possible deduction. You will still have to approve it, but it'll be just showing up there so you don't forget and you don't have to manually do it. But that's it if the report, and for the other states, you could also run it. Actually, if you integrate with the ELD, that's gonna be even more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Right.
select
It's gonna show it
drivers.
automatic.
Right, you can select drivers, you can select months, and you could run it for the other states, which are exceptional. You can do miles by state as well. I don't know, by truck or by driver. And then you can, if you want it to be 100% accurate, I mean, that's before we had ELD integration, or if, let's say you use ELD that's not integrated, then you can just upload miles by state and do it this way, but it's pretty easy. It's just pretty much one click and the data is populated, and you can submit that report to the tax authority.
So as long as they're using that ELD, everything uploads and you could just create that file. It should give you a
Right.
very accurate statement.
With ELD, you don't have to do this manual miles by state upload. It's just gonna be there with
Okay.
ELD integration, right?
As long as they do what they're supposed to do on their end.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, onboarding process, it'll take a couple of weeks to go through a couple of trainings, is absolutely free to go through onboarding process. And like I said, there is a live support here where you can always go and check out the phone number or the email address for the customer support. I always like to have a live person you can speak with to help you out, and then you can also address your questions if it's after hours. There are a lot of tutorials here for almost anything that you would need to do in the TMS, as well as there are even more videos. And if there's any new feature that is rolled out, it's on a YouTube channel.
Hey, so Olivia, can you go in there and deactivate mine so I can use that same email address? So I don't have to set up a new email address?
Okay, you're saying to what, to activate your account?
Because I'd rather just start all over again from scratch and just get that 15-day free trial.
Right, so you can just go to
Yeah.
EZloads.net and you will just be able to input your company name, your
But it's still
name,
pulling
email,
up that
phone
old
number.
email address.
It is what?
It's still pulling up the old email address when I try to do it with the old email address.
Now you should be able to enter a new email address. You want me to do it for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me just do it real quick. What's the company name?
KSB Logistics Express. B as in boy.
Oh, okay, KSB.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I'm his nephew.
Oh, oh, are you both in the business?
Don't believe him, Olivia.
Okay, I don't know your email address, so you gotta
It's
tell
gonna
me
be
that.
the K Barnett AKSB Logistics Express. My nephew.
Express.com or,
Uh-huh.
okay, just like that, K
Yep,
Burnett.
just like that.
AKSB Logistics Express, okay. So you would have to confirm the phone number with, you'll get a code.
Okay, let's do the 773
Mhm.
217 4022.
Okay, so just like that, you can enter the number of trucks, however many you want. Let's say just 10 for the heck of
Add
it.
another zero there. Let's add another zero. Yeah.
Okay, so you'd have to provide the source of how you found out of EZloads, about EZloads.
YouTube channel.
Okay, so I think at this point you'll be able to just verify your account.
Okay, it's 5959.
Right, so you should get an activation code to your email and you'll be able to set this up just like this.
Okay.
All right, should you set up? Yeah, just
Yeah.
check your
I'm
email.
impressed.
If for any reason it went to a spam folder or junk mail, just check it there, but it should be there. And you'll be
Okay.
able to log in even with the same email that you had last time, so that shouldn't be a problem. We have
Okay.
some sister companies, they create 2 trials with the same email because they want to combine them and access them under same credentials, login credentials, by like 2 companies, so they that's the purpose of creating 2 trials with the same email, so they don't have too many different sign-in credentials if they're working with 2 companies at the same time. Okay, all right. So I think we've covered most of the information. I would encourage everybody who's interested in giving it a test drive to just go to EZloads.net. I'm just gonna leave a link here in the chat box. And you create your own free trial. Once you created that free trial, myself or another member from the EZloads team will be reaching out to you, providing you more resources. You can also request a free product demo so we can walk you through individually and address your questions individually, case by case basis. And you know, there is no better way to really know how this could work for you unless you give it a try, create, you know, a driver, the first load. And I hope it really will be facilitating your journey as a dispatcher and make your job much, much faster and efficient.
It's very impressive. Thank you.
Okay, Olivia, I
Okay.
don't see that email.
Huh?
I don't
Yeah,
see that
sometimes they can go to your
Spam.
spam or to your
Nah,
to
it
your
didn't go to
but
spam.
also I hope that I entered your email address correct.
You have the S at the end of the after the C on logistics.
I want to say I did, but
I think
in
you
case,
did.
but who knows? Maybe I did make a typo.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and try this again.
Just give me a call after the demo if you cannot find that email. I'll make sure that we will find
Okay.
that email for you, okay?
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so just save the website, EZloads.net. It's just as easy as it sounds, 1, 2, 3. And once you create the trial, you'll get more help. You'll get other emails with a toolkit and some video tutorials, so we can get you started in learning the platform and how it works. So I hope this will be a great solution for you and for your future business. If you have any questions, I can leave my phone number here as well. Just give me a second. And my email address. Okay. Does everyone see it in the chat box?
Yep. Got it.
Okay. Okay, maybe we'll just wait a minute for everybody to copy this information. If you have any questions after the demo, feel free to give me a call Monday next week. This is my direct line, and let me give you my email as well.
Know what to do.
Okay. All right, Keith. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you all. I hope you're learning a lot, and the journey will be exciting to join the business of dispatching. Like I said, we do have a lot of carriers, but also quite a few dispatch service companies who are using the TMS and the driver app. And I encourage you to look for EZloads app in the App Store or a Google Play Store and just play around with it. It won't be synced to your TMS unless you do the free trial. But when you do a free trial, it actually gives you full access, unrestricted access. You'll be able to use it just as a real account. And if anyone ends up subscribing at the end of the free trial, that free trial becomes your real account. So it's not like you had to start over. So you're not wasting time with it either. Okay, so unless you have any questions, I'm just going to close up this meeting. I hope you got an opportunity to save information on the website, and you guys should know how to create free trials, so reach out to me if you have any questions. You guys have a wonderful rest of the day and a great weekend, okay?
Thank
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Olivia.
All right,
Bye.
thank you, Keith. We'll catch up next.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you Monday. Bye-bye.
All right, talk to you Monday. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.